Hey everyone, welcome back to Chemistry CC for you. So today we are going to discuss some exceptions and tricky questions and points to remember for all kinds of exam. I'm not telling that this will be asked only in certain types of exam because organic chemistry is extremely important for all the different examinations. So I strongly suggest all of you to watch this video because this can be helpful for you at least sometime in your any of your exam, because for net aspirants, for jam JU, JEE, then JNU, CUSET, every examination. So let's begin. And before that, the inorganic chemistry video will be uploaded real soon. I face some technical glitches in that particular video, so I'm trying to solve it out, and after that that video also will be uploaded, and the people those who are waiting for HCU strategy videos and the last minute tips for the examination, those also will be uploaded real soon. Don't worry, I'll be regularly uploading since it's your examination time. So let's start. The first thing is benzene's reaction with chlorine. So let's take a look at all the points. So generally what happens when benzene reacts with chlorine in the presence of aluminum chloride or iron, we get chlorobenzene. Okay, it's chlorobenzene. Generally, C6H6 plus Cl2 gives C6H5Cl plus HCl. But when we bubble chlorine gas through hot benzene and expose it to UV light. So here actually it is UV light. You need to write UV. UV light, what we get? We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexachlorocyclohexane or gamaxine, or we can also call it as lindane. So this will be produced when, so the reagents are the same, but the products are different because of the reaction condition. So what is the difference in the reaction condition? When benzene is reacting with chlorine in the presence of aluminum chloride or iron chloride, we get chlorobenzene. But when the thing, that is, we are bubbling chlorine gas to benzene in the presence of UV light, what do we get? We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexachlorocyclohexane. So I hope you get the difference. These kinds of question can be asked to trick you in the examination, because all of us would believe that it is chlorobenzene, but no, there you go, the answer is different. Second, this is a very common question asked in all examination, which are the ozonolysis product. So the for ethene, we have two HCHO as the product. For propene, we have CH3CHO plus HCHO. Butene, you have butene actually means but1ene. So it is CH3CH2CHO, which means we'll get propanaldehyde plus the HCHO. So we'll get these two aldehydes, and in but2ene you'll get 2CH3 CHOET, that is you'll get a ketone, and then in ethine we'll be getting CHO which is glyoxal. So CH3 CHOET in but2ene, butene will get CH3 CH2 CHO, and HCO along with HCHO along with that, and so on. So these are commonly asked osmolysis reactants and their products. So you could take a screenshot or just write this down for your future reference. This is very important. Next, this is a very interesting thing. So we can selectively convert a alkyne into a cis alkene by using Lindlar's catalyst. So what is Lindlar's catalyst? It is palladium deposited on calcium carbonate. So if you see something like PD, CaCO3, your answer should always be a cis alkene. Okay, you understand? So uh, there will be some sort of poisons like lead or sulfur, which can reduce the activity, and so it will be giving only cis alkenes. So Lindlar's catalyst, which is palladium deposited on calcium carbonate, can selectively reduce alkynes into cis alkenes. I hope you have got this. So here we have given two different examples for this. So you can see here are, this is a representative reaction, and here also you get a cis alkene, and here we have given a typical example 3-hexyne. Again we get Z or the cis. You know, E for E is the trans form, Z is the cis form, so this we get cis. Now, alkynes are selectively converted into trans alkenes when they are reduced by sodium in liquid ammonia. So this is also called as bridge reduction. So sodium in liquid ammonia reduces alkynes into transalkene. So to make cis-alkene, you need Lindlar's catalyst, and to make transalkenes, you need sodium in liquid ammonia. That is a very important thing. This question, this Lindlar's catalyst question, is always asked in your MSc chemistry entrance examination. I've seen this question multiple times when I'm solving the question paper. So please remember this. This is going to be really helpful for you. So now let's move on to the next segment. Okay, so next is very important. So this is about polymerization of alkyne. You all know about ethine or acetylene. So acetylene can actually give different polymerization products according to the reaction condition. So acetylene, when it is passed through a red hot copper tube, it polymerizes to give benzene. So we may get benzene in the iron red hot tube at 773 Kelvin. We get benzene, and it is also, so acetylene can give benzene. Next, linear polymerization of acetylene can give us polyacetylene, which is given here. So this is called polyacetylene. And also cyclic polymerization of propyne, it is another alkyne. Propyne gives mesitylene. So this is mesitylene. The structure of mesitylene is this. You have three methyl group, and we get mesitylene when we are cyclic polymerization of propane. So these are different polymerization products of alkane. So for acetylene or ethine will give you both benzene as well as polyacetylene. When it is linearly polymerized, then it will get polyacetylene, and when it is passed through a red hot copper tube, it polymerizes to give benzene. So here I have also shown you how it happens. So just there occurs like a common shift. This type of a reaction occur, and you get benzene. Very simple, but just remember this, because you get confused. Maybe all these products will be given in the options, and you may be asked to choose one. Don't get confused. This is another important point. Next, this is something that combines both kinetics as well as the organic chemistry part. So ester hydrolysis, as we all know, can take place in presence of base and acid. So in the presence of acid, it is a pseudo first order reaction, and in the presence of base, it is a second order reaction. Keep this in mind. Ester hydrolysis, in the presence of acid, it is a pseudo first order reaction, and in the presence of base, it is a second order reaction. Now let's take a look at something about the reducing agents and reducing agents. Before that, I have made multiple organic chemistry lectures, so many name reaction videos. I'll give all the links in the description box. Go and watch that. It is going to be really helpful for your revision. Do watch those. So now coming back to the point, tertiary halides. Tertiary halides react with LiLH4, that is lithium aluminum hydride, and it won't give you alkanes. So what do we expect? We expect it to give alkanes, but they don't give you alkanes, but instead they gave us alkenes. That's a very important difference. Tertiary halides, on reacting with lithium aluminum hydride, will give you alkenes instead of alkanes, which are expected. Next, primary halides do not react with sodium borohydride at all. So we think primary halides will react with sodium borohydride, but it does not react at all. So we need something else to solve this problem, and therefore we are choosing some other reducing agent like triphenyl tin hydride, also called TPH, and it manages to convert every kind of alkyl halide to the corresponding alkene. So whatever be the alkyl halide, it can be converted into corresponding alkanes using some other reducing agent like triphenyl tin hydride. So tertiary halides give us alkenes on reacting with lithium aluminum hydride, and primary halides do not react with sodium borohydride at all. Next tip. So we all know about the Fehling solution test. So aldehyde gives positive test with Fehling solution, whereas ketone don't give a positive test with it. But there is a difference. All the alpha hydroxy ketone give positive test with Fehling solution. So we have always studied generalized point that ketones do not give the positive test with Fehling solution, but that is wrong, because alpha hydroxy ketones can give you positive test with Fehling solution. So why does this happen? This question has been asked in CUSET once. So this question, alpha hydroxy ketone, what happens is it gets converted into enol by tautomerism, and then eventually it turns into a aldehyde group because of tautomerism once again. So that aldehyde group can give positive test with Fehling solution. So I hope you understood. all the ketones cannot give, only alpha hydroxy ketones can give, and this happens because of tautomerism. The alpha hydroxy ketone gets converted into enol by tautomerism, which eventually turns into aldehyde group. And as we all know, aldehyde definitely gives positive test with Fehling solution. That's it. Now let's take, this is an example of alpha hydroxy ketone. So that's it. Let's move on to the next point. So next, 2-methyl propanol has an alpha hydrogen. So it is expected to undergo aldol condensation, but uh, it undergoes disproportionation when heated with aqueous NaOH at 440 to 470 Kelvin. So we know that 2-methyl propanol, since it has an alpha hydrogen, it is expected to undergo aldol condensation, but it does not, but instead undergoes disproportionation. Similarly, 2-methyl is an exception which has an alpha hydrogen, still undergoes Cannizzaro reaction. So this undergoes both Cannizzaro reaction as well as aldol condensation. So the thing is, methyl propanol undergoes aldol condensation, but it also undergoes disproportionation when heated at aqueous NaOH. And we know that for Cannizzaro reaction, we expect it not to have an alpha hydrogen, but even if it has an alpha hydrogen, 2-methyl propanol is an exception since it can undergo both Cannizzaro reaction as well as aldol condensation. Let's take a look at some other Cannizzaro. So formaldehyde, chloral, p-methoxy, benzaldehyde. These all give Cannizzaro reaction. So methyl propanol gives aldol reaction, aldol condensation, Cannizzaro reaction, and also it undergoes disproportionation with aqueous NaOH at 440 to 470 Kelvin. As I have said, chair conformation is not chiral because it has a center of symmetry, and boat conformation again is not chiral because it possesses a plane of symmetry, but twist boat conformation is chiral because there is no symmetry element at all. And also the relative stabilities of these are chair greater than twist boat, greater than boat, greater than half chair. So this question is usually asked like which of the following conformation of cyclohexane is chiral. So that time you have to choose the answer twist boat conformation because it is chiral without a symmetry element. Next, we have aniline which does not undergo Friedel-Crafts reaction. And why does that happen? It is because the reagent, we know that for Friedel-Crafts reaction, a Lewis acid is required, and AlCl3 is the Lewis acid that we use. So this AlCl3, it is electron deficient and it can act as a Lewis base. And what it does is it attacks on the lone pair of nitrogen present in aniline, and it form a insoluble complex which precipitates out, and the reaction does not proceed. So why does this happen? Because AlCl3, since it is electron deficient, it is instead of acting as a Lewis acid, it acts as a Lewis base and attacks the lone pair of nitrogen. So you know the structure of aniline. So what is the structure of aniline? In aniline, we have the benzene ring and we have the NH2 group, that is aniline. So this nitrogen has a lone pair on it, and this lone pair will be attacked by the AlCl3, and thereby forming an insoluble complex which will get precipitated out, and therefore the Friedel-Crafts reaction cannot proceed. Key points that I wanted to explain today. These are very few exceptions and important tips for the organic chemistry part. I'll continue this part later on. So I hope all of you will benefit from this video. Please check out all the links in the description box. I will give you the links of name reaction as well as previous organic chemistry lectures which you would find useful in your examination. Thank you so much for watching. Please study well and all the best for your examination.